Party people, what's good? Episode 2 of the Wake and Rake podcast. Very bold of my co-host, World Series champion Will Middlebrooks, be wearing a Red Sox shirt, considering they just got their asses absolutely kicked by the Baltimore Orioles. John Means, you're getting shut out by John Means, and then Matt Harvey's. You're only getting 2 runs off Matt Harvey. Brooksy, what's going on with your squad, dude? Are you just going to hold that up casually?
Couldn't hear you. I was putting my World Series ring on.
Yeah, for the people listening on the podcast, he's holding up his World Series ring. That was nearly a decade ago, 2013.
Decade? Yeah, you're right. It almost was.
Yeah, it was.
Jesus, that was a long time ago. It didn't feel like it.
They won in 2018 too. I shouldn't shit on them too much.
Yeah, I wasn't part of that, so it didn't really count. Yeah, dude, they stunk. I mean, the fans of the Red Sox, the players of the Red Sox will tell you the same thing. It was just a bad series.
It's a good thing they only had 5,000 people in the stands. You know what I mean?
For 4,700 to be exact, 4,400.
It's a good thing for those players. You know what I mean? Because they would have gotten.
Yeah, but when there's only that many people, you can hear everything they say.
I got to give credit to Baltimore too. I actually watched the games. I'm not just looking at the box scores and saying Boston was just bad. Baltimore actually.
I watched some. They had it on like MLB Network one day, and yeah, like I watched as much as I could handle.
And with Trey Mancini back, that Baltimore lineup's not terrible. So I want to
get terrible. No, I mean I'm not going to go out on a limb and be like they're sleepers. They're definitely not sleepers. But I mean they put it on Boston. I think it was Boston's comfortable with them because they play them a lot in spring training, and they probably went in just thinking these guys suck. Like we're gonna roll, and that's not how you can attack a big league baseball game. You just can't, because they're still professionals. All right. You can still get your ass beat. It doesn't matter what their projection is or how many games they're going to win or whatever. They're professionals and they're ready to play, and they're going to come beat you if you're not ready, period. And that's what happened.
We wasted too much time talking about the 0-3 Red Sox. We got a lot more to talk about on this show besides your Boston Red Sox. We'll talk about the biggest storylines. So Jose Berrios getting taken out after 6 no-hit innings. Yikes. That's a big debate. Nicholas Castellanos. I don't want to call it a brawl. It's more like a scuffle between the Reds and the Cardinals. Definitely not a brawl. And then we'll talk about some overreactions from opening day weekend. There's a lot of good, a lot of bad too. So we have a lot to talk about. And then we have a mailbag to finish up this podcast too. We ask for your questions on social media for this show. We'll ask whatever you guys ask us from opening day weekend. Let's start it off with the first, probably the biggest storyline, or at least one of the biggest storylines from the weekend, was Minnesota Twins manager Rocco Baldelli taking out Jose Berrios after 6 no-hit innings. He had 12 strikeouts. Him and Corbin Burns together had 20-plus strikeouts through 6 innings. They both had a no-hitter through 6 innings. Burns was taken out in 7th after giving up a dinger to Byron Buxton. But they both had no-hitters going through the 6th. Rocco Baldelli didn't let Berríos take the mound in the 7th. Your initial thoughts? You're cool with that?
I'm cool with it because I see the big picture here. If you take Berríos out of their rotations, let's say, you know what, let's let him go for the no-hitter, and he throws 125, probably 30 pitches, honestly. Maybe he's fatigued at his next start. All right, maybe he overcompensates and changes the mechanics just a little bit to reach back and still get his normal velo. And then he does that again his next start, and then all of a sudden his flexor tendon hurts or his shoulder hurts. It's a roll your eyes if you want, but it's real. And if you're the Twins, you need him. If he's not in your rotation, you don't have a chance at your division with the White Sox built the way they are. So and that's another thing. There's so much money being paid. Listen, I understand. Well, Roger Clemens and Nolan Ryan would have fist fought the manager. Who gives a shit? It's different. They're not making $100,000 to play. They're making millions and millions and millions of dollars that these organizations have invested into these arms to pitch 25 to 30 times a year. And they're going to go about their progression exactly how they want to because they have that much money invested in that person. And if you're making that much money, you nod your head and say, yes, sir, my pitch count's 85. That's where I'm at.
He did.
He gets it.
Back. But
nope. I understand. Throwing a no-hitter in the big league is a big deal. but also only making half your starts and your team not going to the playoffs because of it is an even bigger deal to me.
At what point are we going to start looking at analytics and saying it's hindering the product of the game? To the point where not to the point where people won't watch. It'll never get to that point. I hate when people say on social media, I'm not going to watch baseball anymore because that's
Right.
bullshit. You're going to watch.
Dude, I had literally had a guy. It's hard to cut you off and you can finish. That was straight Kanye West.
Right, you're allowing me to collect my thoughts now.
Okay, perfect. I had a guy tweet me and say, well, since they took him out, there's thousands of people that won't watch the Twins now. No. Get out of here, dude. That's so false. That's not, you might be annoyed like, oh, I wanted to see a no-hitter. But you're going to be glad when he's making his 28th start and you're going to win the AL Central by a game. Then you won't even think about it, but it wouldn't be in that position if he goes out and gets hurt in a couple weeks because he threw 130 pitches coming off a 75 pitch count in his last week of spring training. This doesn't make sense. So if you look at the progression of things, the Twins made the right decision.
My worry is a slippery slope here because we've already had analytics. We're having analytics take away players from everyday at bats.
This 84 pitches, your first start of the season is not abnormal. This has been happening for years. The only reason we're nitpicking it is because he had a no-hitter.
Why not let the guy go out there and give it a shot? What if he has a 6-pitch 7th inning?
Because they had a plan. And like I just said, when there's that much money invested in that person, they don't care. It's about longevity and it's about your team getting to the postseason. It's not.
Tell me Jose Berrios doesn't care about throwing a no-hitter?
Of course he does. That's why he went out and pitched like he did. But it's beyond him, especially, and I'm going to say it again, when that much money is invested in you, you say yes, sir, nod your head and say, this is the plan. I'm going to stick with it.
But it hurts the product of the game.
I'm not arguing that. Of course, people want to see.
And for a guy like Berríos, I agree. You have that much money invested in you, you're going to nod your head. But the fact that we're not even allowing the guy the opportunity to go out there and throw a no-hitter is bad for baseball. It's better for the Twins because Berríos is going to have.
If this was in July,
health going,
then he would have got his opportunity.
I'm not talking about July. I'm talking about right now.
I'm explaining the situation.
I understand the situation. For the game to be a better product, let the guy have a shot.
You're taking the Twitter fan side of this, is what you're doing.
I'm not taking the Twitter fan side of this. I'm taking the pitcher's perspective. If I'm a player, I would rather throw a no-hitter in the big leagues than make the playoffs one year.
Okay. Noted. Selfish.
It's probably selfish. But I think when you're 60 years old, Jose Berrios, you really think he's going to be talking about, let's say hypothetically he threw the no-hitter. He might talk about his 2020 AL Central crown. I'm sure he will. It'll be a fun time. But then he has a no-hitter next to his name. That's legendary. That's history.
Cool.
Right?
Go out and do it again.
It's so unrealistic.
Well, they had a plan, dude. They had to stick to it. Let's move on because we're just going to keep yelling at each other over it. And I don't want to dislike you.
Well, we already dislike each other. We wouldn't have created the show if we liked each other.
Look, let me just say, I fully understand the angle you're taking, but I also know why they did what they did and exactly why it was the correct decision for that organization.
I do.
But yes, would I love selfishly to see him to go out and pit till his arm fall off if he has a no-hitter? Of course. Who doesn't? He probably, that's the thing too, is people tweeting me about it saying these diva pitchers. You think any pitcher wants to come out of the game ever?
That's dumb.
No, never.
But I can make the case. I can make the case diva manager for taking out his pitcher after 80 pitches. If Berríos,
you think that if for 1 second you think that's not coming from above the manager, you're high.
No. I believe that. If Berríos was at 95, 100 pitches, take him out. But 84 pitches, man, give him a shot. We're moving on.
April 3rd, bro.
I know.
It was April 3rd. He's coming off 75 pitches his last start in spring training. Not smart. Next.
Nicholas Castellanos getting into it with Yadier Molina. So a little background here. Castellanos bat flipped on opening day, did a little skip down the
Couple
first base
skippies.
line with swag level through the roof for Castellanos. Next
Yeah.
day, rookie pitcher dinged Castellanos. Castellanos looked at Yadi like, yo, was that on purpose? Yadi probably said, no, it wasn't on purpose. When
That was
Castellanos went around and scored, Castellanos scored as a pass ball. Pitcher went down to
a little
tag.
bit of contact. Like the pitcher kind of came down on top of him, like
Little contact.
normal play at the plate.
And Castellanos screamed, let's effing go in his face.
I love the intensity. Don't tell me that's not good for the sport. The fans love that stuff too. Why do you think people go to hockey games? Fights.
It was trending on Twitter within seconds. Of course, it's good.
Should have been. I love the enthusiasm. I love the fire. You're gonna need that in Cincinnati. I think they did hit him on purpose. I know you disagree with me, but first pitch, I mean, it was just a perfect one too. He went for his hip. He went low. I thought it was if you're going to hit someone, that's the way to do it. Why am I blanking? Who did he hit the homer off of?
So the Cardinals pitcher was Jake Woodford.
No, that's who hit him.
So he hit the dinger on opening day and then the next day.
Right. So he hit the homer off their ace.
Yeah.
Jack Flaherty. All right. This is a young pitcher trying to gain some respect in the clubhouse. Guaranteed. They're boys. He's young. He's listening to the old guys talk about how much they hate how he pimped the homer. Wainwright. Old man screams at cloud. It's like, I get it. I really like Wainwright. I should have said that. But he's trying to gain some respect. He's like, I'll clip him. He's like, I don't care. We're what? They were down 4 at the time.
Like
another question for you. Anyway, the script was a 4-run game. And he's like, I'll clip him right here. And he did it perfectly how you should do it. If you want to hit somebody, you don't go high, you don't go too low. He aimed right at his butt. Drilled him.
Mm-hmm.
Done. I get it. Castellanos took exception. Yes, I think it was on purpose. He didn't have to get up and scream in his face, but heat of the moment in the middle of a game, shit happens like that. Sometimes the switch comes on and you can't turn it off.
Things didn't escalate.
Nothing came of it. Like no one swung on each other. They just yelled at each other. That's how like most of the time it goes because the fines are so expensive to get in fights.
Have you ever been in a brawl?
Yeah, but not like a crazy one. I played with Johnny Gomes for a couple years, so he was always ready to fight.
Yeah. What's being said back and forth?
I mean, there's really just like the main like 3 or 4 guys yelling at each other, and everyone else is like just kind of there in case something really goes down.
What the F, bro? Is that on purpose?
Yeah, but the people on the outside are like, you always tend to find someone you know, and you're like, sup?
Yeah.
How's your family?
I love how Moustakis wrapped up Yachty like, I'll deal with it.
He's like, I'll talk to him, bro.
Yeah, I respect you. Nothing but respect, bro.
Yeah.
I love what Castellanos said afterwards. He said,
yeah,
punch me in the face, but I'll ask him to sign a jersey. That's
I would love to see what Yachty wrote on the jersey.
Interesting. I didn't hear Yachty make any comments after the game.
Yachty didn't give a shit.
Yachty didn't give a shit. So you have some whiskeys to
oh dude. Okay, so I was talking about this on the last show. Flaviar. So I got these it's 3 tasters. All right, we have A, B, and C. I just opened it, so I'm gonna go with A for number 1. You're not gonna believe the name of A. My sample A. Ooh. This, I swear to God, I can't make this up.
I'm concerned where you got these samples from.
This whiskey is called Chicken Cock. I swear to God, dude. I'm sure for everyone not watching and just listening, you see it, right? Like you saw the name. It's literally called Chicken Cock.
Yeah, if you don't believe us, look on this podcast is up on YouTube at Wake and Rake Pod.
I'm not sure how this is gonna taste, Dan. But hey, try anything once.
That's not a good good principle to live by.
Oh, this is awesome. So okay, it's from Kentucky. It gives you like see, I'll hold this close so you can see it. All the tasters, like how it tastes, like okay, cool. This is really cool because I would never buy chicken cock.
Well,
I can't drink right now. Not as feathery as I thought it would be. You didn't like that joke.
Feathery? Oh, I get it. It took me a second.
That's really good.
It's been a long weekend.
Holy Moses. That's good. I might have to go out to my nearest store and buy some CC.
You want to send me some chicken cock out here in California?
I'm not sure how I should package that. Wow, that's good. I'm gonna go 8-4.
8-4 on a whiskey.
That's solid. Like if you get to a 9, we're talking like some really good stuff. I'm gonna go 8-4, like 8-5, mid 8. It's good. It's got a little bite. Whew. That's special. I like it.
Where am I supposed to buy, where am I supposed to buy this chicken cock if I'm interested?
I'm not sure. I've never heard of it before this. I'll look it up and get you the details on that.
Fair enough.
But I'm pretty sure you can get most of these just about anywhere. All right, so that was cool.
Break after, yeah, we'll take a break.
Bye.
Little chicken cock break, and we'll be back with overreaction or fair reaction from
Jesus.
Overreaction or fair reaction from opening day weekend. Let's be real, they're all probably going to be overreactions because it's 3 games in, but some of them are fair questions to ask. Number 1, the Red Sox are the worst team in baseball. Overreaction or fair reaction?
Over. Look at their roster. They still have a lot of good players. Everyone just had a shit 3 games. And I thought the Orioles played well. They didn't really suck that bad. I thought Baltimore played really well.
They sucked this 3rd game.
Dude, was it John Means? Is it John? John Means, the lefty? Yeah. That changeup has a parachute on it.
He's an all-star.
Dude, he's throwing it mid. When you watch a pitcher and he can throw a changeup middle and doesn't even get foul balls, gets swings and misses, you know he's got good arm speed, and you know he's got his spin very similar to his fastball spin. Mm-hmm. So guys can't tell what it is, and you have to be ready for 92. You have to be ready for the fastball, and then 83. It was filthy, and I enjoyed watching him pitch. He would go top of the zone, corners here and there, and then just change up middle. Even in hitters counts, 0-0 count. Guys coming out of their shoes and like almost swinging twice before it got there. It was unbelievable.
I think it's fair, by the way, simply because
fair.
It's fair if
you think they're the worst team in baseball.
Xander Bogaerts and Rafael Devers did nothing this weekend. If that sustains, then they're going to be the worst.
So for 162, you think these players, who all-star caliber players, are going to do nothing? So then you agree that they're not the worst team in baseball? Then
they could be.
That's not what you asked. You said they are. You said they could. You didn't say they could be.
Oh, right now they are the worst team in baseball at 0-3, and got destroyed by the Baltimore Orioles, who were expected to be the worst.
Bro. They're not. That's a huge overreaction to say anybody is the worst team in baseball right now.
Fernando Tatis Jr. is a defensive liability. Overreaction or fair reaction? He had 5 errors in this opening weekend in 4 games.
I'm gonna throw up, Danny.
He had 3 errors all of last season. He had 5 this weekend.
You know what Bobby Valentine told me one time? We're playing at Wrigley. It's the first time I ever was at Wrigley. I booted a ball, and a guy on third, 2 outs. I mean, it was a hard hit ball to my left, but I clanked it. Guy scored. It was a close game, too. It was like 7th inning. I ended up tying it up, that run. I came in, and I was threw my glove. Like, I was pretty pissed. I let the team down. Bobby V grabs me by the back of my neck. Hey, kid. You know, he just called me, hey, kid, come here. Sit down. He sits down with me. He goes, it's okay. You know why? As long as you knock in more than you let in, that's all that matters. And Fernando Tatis is going to knock in way more than he lets in.
Yeah, he had a 465-foot bomb, too. It was meaningless.
But with that contract he signed, that little contract he signed, you can't have that many errors. Is it going to happen? Yeah, man, it happens. He's human. It happens. Whatever. I didn't even see him. I saw one of them that was a force trying to turn a double play quick. Right. If that ball gets scooped at first, the runner at third doesn't score. He should have just ate it, put it in his pocket, because the double play wasn't going to be turned. It was a deep ground ball to first. Hosmer threw it. He tried to turn it quick to the pitcher. Guy was probably going to beat it out by a step anyways. Since he missed the scoop at first, the pitcher, who's not good at that anyways, he's not a first baseman. That's a tough play anyways. the run scores so he can see errors. That's a tough error. But he should have just ate it. It's too close, and you can't trust a pitcher over there.
Like there were a couple plays that should have been made. That one in particular, not the biggest deal, but he had a couple fielding errors. He had a ground ball up the middle that he booted.
And you can't blame the infield there because that place is pristine.
Yeah, Petco Park.
So nice. Was it a day game?
It was a day game. Well,
okay.
It each and every game. So yeah.
Was it late? Okay, I'm about to say because those day games late, the infield does get a little hard and choppy there. I will say that. Could be different now.
My thing with FDJ is people are already shitting on him too. Shouldn't have given the contract the first weekend. Let's slow it down. Okay, for the same reason that you didn't want to give him a contract for those goals, for the same reason you didn't want to give him a contract at 22 years old, is the same reason why you should give him the benefit of the doubt to work this thing out. Because no player at 22 years old,
dude, it's been a couple games. He's fine.
I'm exaggerating, but
I know.
22 years old, we've never seen a 22-year-old baseball player make this much money this early in his career.
And he'll be worth every penny.
Whatever you want to call this, wouldn't you rather him work this out at 22 years old than at 28 when maybe he still couldn't figure it out?
I don't care how old he is when this happens. I'm not worried about it.
Overreaction.
His team is very good too, so it's not like he's having to carry that team.
So, by the way, Fernando Tatis Jr. through his first 144 games has 26 errors. Ozzie Smith, one of the greatest shortstops of all time, the Wizard, 23 errors through his first 144 games. So he's three.
Yeah, he was playing on AstroTurf.
He's got 3 more errors than the great Ozzie Smith.
Yeah.
Overreaction.
Massive overreaction.
Last one. So Shohei Ohtani, at the time we're recording this, my gosh.
You can see in the reflection on the Mariano Rivera jersey. You see the reflection? That's where I'm watching the game right now.
What Shohei Ohtani is doing is historical. This
is so good for the game, man.
First time a starting pitcher is batting second while also starting a game on the mound since 1903.
And he freaking hit a 480-foot tater tot.
Threw 101 miles per hour in the first inning, and then in the bottom half, he stroked a 451 foot.
You know what's better than the 101? The next pitch at 92, that split, was disgusting.
At the time we're recording this, 4 innings, pitched, 1 hit, no runs, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks. And he's also got the ditch, stroking it too.
I said on TV earlier, I said, man, wouldn't it be cool if he went 7 shutty and went deep? Now you just got to go to 7 shutty now. Dylan Cease, by the way, his stuff is so good. I have him as he's going to be the most improved player in 2020. He just got to hone it in. He tries to make every pitch the nastiest pitch he's ever thrown. And like, he doesn't have to be that fine. Like that fastball is 97, 98 with jump.
Yeah.
And that breaking ball, I want to see the spin rate on that breaking ball because that is one of the sharpest breakers I've seen. He just doesn't know where the hell it's going.
Yeah. He needs to figure out his command. That's been
like, he just needs like a competitive pitch. Like if those breaking balls, they can be balls, but they need to start strikes at least. They're starting off the plate.
You need to show the hitter you can throw over a strike too, because that's Hector Neris is probably.
I think he's overthrowing a little bit. He's a young guy. He's facing one of the scariest offenses right now in baseball.
I'm glad you said that. Okay, the Los Angeles Angels have the overreaction and fair reaction. Los Angeles Angels have the best lineup in the American League.
In the American League.
So you got Chicago, who they're playing. It's stacked, and they don't have Eloy right now. You have the New York Yankees, who struggled.
I like them better than the Yankees.
Offensively.
Yeah. Because, it just doesn't let up.
Mm-hmm.
Who let off? Was it Fletcher?
Tonight?
I think it was Fletcher, Ohtani, Trout. And then oh, man, I got to face Ohtani. Oh, shit. Now Trout. Oh, Rendon. Oh, Justin Upton. Oh, Albert Pujols.
He wasn't even in the lineup.
Right. I'm just saying, on a normal day.
Right.
Like, Pujols is your 6-hole hitter, and he's one of the best right-handed hitters of all time. Yeah, he's on the tail end of a Hall of Fame career, but
overreaction or fair reaction?
Bop you. That they have the best lineup in the American League.
It should be mentioned that Houston clobbered Oakland this weekend. Yordan Alvarez is looking better than ever, and he was an American League Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, dude. Nah.
Houston's lineup was
I
clobbered.
think it's fair. I mean, this White Sox team's good. I mean, they're playing. I picked the White Sox to go to the World Series, so
Yeah, Giolito game 1. Then you had and they won. Then you had Dallas Keuchel. Then you had Lance Lynn and then Dylan Cease. Those are 4 really, really good pitchers. Dylan Cease got a ways to go, but those are
the stuff's
really
there. Yeah, the stuff is there.
Fair. I
think it's fair, man. I don't know if it's completely true, but it's fair.
Yeah, your buddy Justin Upton looks really good, by the way.
Dude, his swing. I thought he got that ball. I thought he got a grand slam to right. He just missed it. He's got to get in the weight room.
So did Matt Vasgersian. He called it.
I thought he got it. They got more excited about that swing than they did Ohtani's ball. They hit the back wall of the stadium.
So I have one more overreaction or fair reaction. Shohei Ohtani is the most valuable player in baseball.
Will he be, or is he right now?
It's up to you. It's overreaction or fair reaction. Now.
Nah, not yet. Can he be? Dude, I may or may not have thrown $20 on Shohei to be MVP. $20. It's nothing, but at plus 2,000.
Was that your only bet for an MVP?
No, Corey Seager, who's hitting like 667 on the season. No big deal.
Yeah.
Watch out, Teddy Williams. Teddy ball game. Move on over. Corey Seager's coming in. Y'all. So I was just thinking, trying to put all this together and make it. This was before I made the bet. So I'm pretty sure the Angels, as of now, are trying to run a 6-man rotation. I don't know how long that'll last. If it does, that slots Ohtani for 27 starts.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying if he can make 20 plus starts and get like 130 to 145 innings, and hit 20 plus homers,
400 to 500 at bats.
Right. I also question, are they going to limit his at bats against lefties? Because OBP against lefties is 706. Not OBP, OPS against lefties, 706. OPS versus righties, 893. So he crunches righties, obviously. I mean, that's not abnormal. But if you have a righty you can plug in against a lefty and you're going down the stretch, or you're in a pennant race, or you're in a divisional race, he might sit against those lefties. That could cost him some at bats. I mean, if it lines up perfectly, he pitches those days, but it's in a perfect world, and you can just use a DH. But I don't know, man. I think this is a realistic thing. Can he get 400 plate appearances? Can he hit 20 homers? Can he get 20 plus starts? And on top of this, does he stay healthy? That's the biggest thing, is can he stay healthy? Like, he's coming off Tommy John 2019, came back a little early last year, didn't have it. Velo wasn't there, control wasn't there. Totally normal after Tommy John. Had a little knee procedure done. There's been this and that going on. He looks very healthy right now. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just all about this. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I want to add. I mean, I had this written down. I was just writing about it. And we started, what started as a make or break spring training, like, is he going to pitch? Is he going to hit? Has now morphed into like renewed possibilities of what they signed him for. Now he's a two-way player that could be the best hitter. Well, maybe not the best hitter on their team. Mike Trout's there. One of the better hitters in the league and one of the best arms in the league. It's just, is that a good bet? Like, would you bet on that? Would you throw some money on that? Do you think he could be MVP? Or is it like, he's got to be a really good hitter, but a really great pitcher in my mind?
I think he could be good at both, and it's still good enough.
I think he's got to be a lot better at pitching than hitting.
The impact of being good at hitting and good at pitching makes you into one great player. Because
the thing is he's only be on the field. He's going to hit a lot. He's going to be in many more games as a hitter. So do we need to see more hitting wise out of him, or more hitting, or more pitching? Like, what do you?
I don't want more. I don't care personally. More.
Okay.
If they want a chance to win a division, they're going to need him to pitch 20 plus, 25.
Yeah.
But
I love it. I love that we're even having this conversation. This is so good for the game of baseball because it's sparking a lot of people's interest.
Did you see how happy Mike Trout was? Did you
Yeah.
happen to catch his post-game interview after game one? They asked him, and by the way, he's in this article with The Athletic by Fabian and did an awesome job in The Athletic. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. He had an interview with Mike Trout, and Mike Trout basically said, it's time. And what he meant by that is it's time for him to start winning. He knows that. He's very competitive. In that piece, it talked about how Mike Trout doesn't matter if he's playing. He had a teammate staying over with his house last year during the pandemic. And his teammate, I forget which teammate it was a minor league player, basically said it didn't matter if we were washing the car. It didn't matter if we were doing chores in the house. We were playing a game of Twister. Like, this guy is ultra competitive. And a lot of people think he's not competitive because he hasn't won. It's not the case. It's not the case. And this guy, after game one victory, he had a different smile to him. And I don't want to look too much into it because it's game one of 162. This guy had a smile.
Bro, he was like fist pumping. Like, he got that big knock or sack fly or something. I don't remember what it was, but he was like fist pumping. And this is game one. And I'm thinking, he's out to prove something. Like, he knows it's time. Like, let him kick it into gear. Like, he knows he had a down year last year. He hit 281 with like 17 homers in 53 games. If he plays out last season and he says he had a bad year, he probably hits 290 with like 45 homers. And it was a bad year. Get out of here, Michael.
He said he fixed some things with his swing.
That's scary to me.
Unbelievable. That's my biggest overreaction that I'm buying is I'm a believer. There's two of them. I'm a believer in the Angels. I think this year is different. For whatever reason, I love what they have cooked. And I think their rotation is good enough. I think they need to make a move at the deadline because I still don't think that you can rely on Shohei to be an MVP both at the plate and on the rotation. That's just my opinion. I just think it's a lot to put on one person.
He might be, but yeah, you need to have a backup plan.
But Dylan Bundy's looked really good. I mean, the past two seasons. After that, Andrew Heaney got roughed up. Jose Quintana's called. I think you need another arm. My other overreaction that I'm kind of buying into is the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen. I talked about this before the season. They haven't allowed a run yet in their first three games. They're 3-0.
Yeah, I watched the end of the last couple innings of the game today. For them to get the sweep. Hector Neris, dude, he's so shaky and just like gets it done a lot, but it's like walk, 2-0, lucky pop up. Like, it's not pretty. His split is so nasty, but it's really hard to control. And I mean, guys are up there like sitting splitter and still can't hit it. That's how good it is. But he also has trouble throwing strikes, and that's never a good thing when you're a closer. You want your closer to come in and just pound the zone. Last three outs are the hardest outs in baseball.
His split's so nasty. If he can throw it for a strike, no problem. Phillies are going to be good to go.
He needs to throw his fastball for a strike. He just doesn't need to get behind. He needs to get ahead in the count so he doesn't have to throw it for a strike.
Jose Alvarado,
he's filth. 100 with he's throwing sideways balls up there.
They got him for like a dishwasher and a couple bucks from Tampa. I don't know how they did that.
Tampa hates winning.
So that's my biggest overreaction. Angels are contenders this year. Philadelphia Phillies, their bullpen, I believe. So, by the way, I put up this graphic during the broadcast during today's game on ESPN. This was pretty enlightening to me. So, the most games, this was last season, the most games with a lead at any point in the game last year. The most games with a lead. The Dodgers at 52. They led in 52 games last year at 60.
52 of 60?
Crazy. The Twins at 50. And third were the Philadelphia Phillies at 49. So the top 8.
That's a bad sign.
The top 8 all made the playoffs except for one. That was the Philadelphia Phillies. So the top 8 teams with the most games with a lead at any point last year made the playoffs except for
any time. Like, you could score in the first. And
that's an indication of their bullpen just being that trash.
I wonder how many of those were like 6th or 7th inning and later. It's not even 7th inning or later now with analytics. It's like 6th inning. It's not 7th anymore. It's backed up. It's 6th inning.
They blew 12 saves to go along.
It was 12. Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
That puts into perspective the potential this team has. It's not their lineup. Their rotation.
Did you see?
Probably did work, but their rotation.
Bro, Nola Wheeler was throwing 100.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had 100. I knew he was like mid to upper, but I thought he was like 96, 97. I saw triple digits a few times, and I was like, oh.
As a San Francisco
that's different.
As a Giants fan, seeing Zach Wheeler dominate just brings me to tears.
Yeah. Well, then Zach Eflin, like today, I was like, oh, Ian Anderson versus Eflin. I love Eflin. Great dude, but this is a mismatch. Ian Anderson was 0.96 in the postseason last year in some big starts. 6 starts last regular season was like 1.95 ERA. I know ERA is the end all be all, but in the playoffs it is. If you're not giving up runs, that's a big deal. And one of the best changeups in the league, right, from a righty, big tall righty. Saw that matchup and I was like, oh, Braves all day. And then Zach Eflin shoved against. I mean, they only gave up like how many runs in this series? 3?
Acuna.
I think they give up 3 runs in 28 innings.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It was like, that's nuts.
Acuna got screwed on that 9th inning strike 3 call, by the way.
Oh, dude, that was like that was down like 6 inches. Yeah, that was down.
That was bad.
That's a fastball too. It's like, come on.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, if it was a splitter or something, that'd be one.
Like a breaking ball where you're like, okay, it starts in the zone, but the fastball, like that was never in the really in the zone.
Mailbag time. You done talking about Ohtani?
I guess for now, till I get off here, I'm gonna go like talk to Jenny about it.
I did. I walked in. So my fiance works night shifts, obviously, and she woke up and I was like, "You'll never believe like what just happened." She's like, "What?" Ohtani went yard and hit 101 miles per hour in the same minute.
She said, "Who?"
She didn't say who. She was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "Ohtani!" Like
oh, cool. You sound like you're doing the color and the play-by-play of this game. How did they not get more excited when Ohtani hit a ball 9,000 feet into the clouds? They're like, "Oh, Homer, lean on it."
I thought Vasgersian did a good job. It's A-Rod that's the issue in my
opinion. A-Rod goes, "Lean on it."
Yeah.
Lean on what? The back wall of the stadium trying to catch that homer?
I like Matty V's call. I thought Matty V's call was good.
The sound that ball made off the bat. Oh, yeah, that's sexual. There's nothing like that. Oh my God. When somebody hits a baseball that hard, the sound is just different. Yeah. And the pitch was 97. It was a 115 point whatever. Doesn't matter. 115 plus off the bat. I'm spitting all over the computer right now. I'm so excited. Sorry. All right. I'm done with Ohtani now.
It's okay. I get it. We should just do a whole episode on Ohtani.
Hot and bothered. They just showed the replay of that homer. I could just feel it.
Mailbag time. So this first one comes from Ryan Wesner. We already kind of answered this.
Hey, by the way, Ryan he's got great insight. He tweets us a lot.
He does. Yeah. Shout out
Ryan. Wake and Rake Pod on Twitter. He's got some really good stuff. I really enjoy following his Twitter.
Likewise. But we kind of already answered this question. He said, why are people so mad at my dude, Rocco Baldelli? We kind of hit on that already, but solid question. Craig
the people want to see a no-hitter. I get it. We're not going to dig too deep into this again, but yeah, the people wanted to see the no-hitter. They don't care about progression. They don't care about pitch count. They care about entertainment, period.
So Craig Allen and I'm going to mess this name up. Karma Chameleon, I think is her name. They kind of have
yeah. She's also a cool follow on Twitter. She's followed me for a while on my Twitter. Red Sox fan, I believe. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure, but she's a sweetheart. She's sweet.
Well, they kind of have a similar question. I'll kind of paraphrase here. Alex Cora likes to play at the lineup and move people around. Is it good for players to not know where they're going to be in the lineup on a day-to-day basis, not knowing if they're going to be in the lineup at all? Because in this analytically based baseball world that we live in now, is it good for not the game? Not asking if it's good for the game. That's another conversation. Is it good for players to not know where they're going to be on a day-to-day basis?
I think in the lineup wise, I don't think it really makes that big of a difference. Yeah, it's nice to go in if you can look in and be like, oh, I'm locked in at 5th every day. Like, I don't even have to look. But that's not really the era we're in anymore. But back to the question. Defensively, though, like, it's a different mindset if I'm playing left or if I'm playing third base. Or if I'm playing first base or I'm playing third base. It's a different mindset. Like when I played first, it was almost like a mental vacation because third base, you're so locked in. First base, you're locked in. Don't get me wrong, but you don't have to dive in the 6-hole or down the line and make a throw from the coach's box. Like,
right.
You just got to knock it down, like tackle it and tag the base or catch the ball from someone else. It's not that big of a deal. So yeah, I can see why that could be a problem if a player isn't used to it. But the era we're in right now of baseball, the Swiss Army knife of a defender adds so much value to you as a player. Like a Kike Hernandez, you can plug in wherever. It makes your team better. And I think Alex Cora is trying to figure out the correct recipe with the players he's been given. Yes, he had a month to figure that out in spring training. That's the argument. I agree. He should have had it figured out by now. But yeah, I understand what they're doing, but yes, there needs to be a little more consistency, and I think he'll get a little bit better product from his team.
Let me ask you this. When you were stapled into that third base spot on a day-to-day, I would guess you knew your expectations, you knew your role, and so you succeeded at a higher level than maybe once your injury started to pile up and you didn't know when you went to the ballpark whether you'd be penciled into that lineup. I think that's kind of a setback, and it's another obstacle for you. You probably succeeded more when you knew exactly what was expected of you.
That's true. It is. I mean, it is. It's comforting when you're an everyday player, but when like I experienced the opposite side of the spectrum later in my career, where it's like I play a game and then I might sit for 3 days before I play it again. And that sucks mentally because you're just on the bench like, I want to play. Okay, I get to play. Sweet, and then you press because you're like, I got to get 2 hits or I'm not going to play again tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then it sucks. But being a bench player is a different it takes a different type of player. It's a lot tougher than people would think, especially in the big leagues.
So before we close up shop here, I kind of gave my biggest takeaways from the weekend. I'm a believer in the Phillies. I'm a believer in the Angels. What's your biggest takeaway from this opening weekend? Do you have any overreactions? Do you have any underreactions? Do you have any underwhelms? Do you have any overwhelms?
Man.
I mean, we talked about Shohei, of course, already.
I picked Houston to win the AL West. I think they look legit.
Oakland looked atrocious this week.
Yeah, but I think Houston was just really good too.
I was disappointed by Jesus Luzardo in his first start.
Oh, I got something. We didn't talk about this. Should we be fired up about the Blue Jays or should we be concerned with the New York Yankees? Because if you're not concerned about the Yankees, then why are you concerned about the Red Sox?
Good. Just look at the lineups.
Okay, that's why you should expect more from
after Xander and Devers. What?
JD Martinez looks better.
Oh, and JD, sorry, excuse me. I should have.
And Bobby Dahlbeck.
Hey, Dahlbeck looks good at first base, by the way. That boy was really picking it at first base.
He was picking everything, bro.
And he's gonna
like hit him in the chest one time. I feel like they're trying to throw it in the dirt.
Devers is every time that guy throws the ball, I'm like,
dude, he was like, yeah, he's throwing like bicep balls over to first, like Dan Uggla used to do. Remember Dan Uggla?
Oh, of course.
He had like shark arms.
San Francisco Giant legend Dan Uggla.
Yeah.
Short stint in San Francisco.
Yeah. Well, anyways, back to my original. I'm excited about the Blue Jays. Vladdy looking slim, hitting taters. Grichuk out of the clouds.
I've always been a Grichuk fan personally.
Defensively, they look good. They have the kid today. His name TJ Zeuch is his last name. It's spelled Zeuch. It's German. Zeuch. He 6'7", 240. Sinker cutter guy. He was good. I mean, that's a lineup that's not necessarily the easiest in the league.
It's just gonna be tough to sustain for 162 with a bullpen and rotation.
Of course it is, but hell, they played really well against a really good team.
Yeah.
Maybe the really good team sucked this weekend. Maybe. But I mean, regardless, that's the thing is you go into games like that. It's like when you're facing an ace, a lot of guys are beat before they even step in the box.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you play the Yankees and you're like, holy shit, it's the Yankees. I'm in Yankee Stadium. Oh, Aaron Judge. Like, they didn't do that. These kids went in there like, we're better than you. We're going to beat you. Yeah. And I love that.
They're not scared of anybody.
Dude. I love it. I love their team. They're a lot of fun. I think I'm going to really enjoy following them this year.
Fair enough. We haven't seen the Mets or Nationals yet because
Tuesday. It's looking like Tuesday. Tomorrow got postponed. As of now, they're hoping for Tuesday.
Got any final words for the good people out there?
No, man. I'm
Parting
hoping
wisdoms.
maybe be back in a couple days and get maybe some locks for the next couple days for betting.
Yeah,
We didn't do it tonight, but
we don't have time. We got
I'm gonna
too much
see
of
what
time.
I mean, you don't want to do it too far in advance because the lines and everything change so much. So maybe tomorrow night or Tuesday night we hop on and then give a couple locks for the next day.
Sounds like a plan, brother.
All right, let's do it.
All right, adios, party people.
See you guys.